if we had known, which we could have, because it was in China, the way to boost the immune system for everybody is to have good nutrition, reduce stress, and take vitamins D and vitamin C and zinc. And then most people, the vast majority, 99 out of 100, will have no symptoms at all. And what the media should have been doing worldwide before the virus came is to publicize the symptoms, right? First of all, publicize the prevention with vitamin D, C, and zinc, and then the symptoms, so that people could have taken those in January and February. And then, if they could have said the symptoms, and then if they said, if you have a cough, you can take hydroxychloroquine, AZT, and zinc. And because it was known in China very early in January and February that 50% of people in the world that were dying were over 80. Hydroxychloroquine has a half-life of 21 days, and you could have given the cystic fibrosis or underlying condition a preventative tablet of hydroxychloroquine every 2 weeks, and zinc, of course, and they would not have any symptoms. So we do not need anyone to die for this.
But what's really shocking, and what I want to publicize, is it's well known in immunology, you can take preventative measures to boost your own immune system, so that even if you were a little bit malnourished or run down, that if you take vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc, your immune system will be boosted. And also if you eat good nutrition, so that if you come across the virus, you will get it, you will have hardly any symptoms, you will clear the virus, and you will actually contribute to the immune people. So if you were to say to quarantine people for just in their homes, elderly people for a few weeks, then the other 90% of the population would come across the virus. About 80 or 90% of people, if they protect their immune systems, will not have any symptoms. They won't even know they have it. And then the virus will not circulate anymore, so that when the elderly, which could have been the end of April, come out of the quarantine, the virus is actually stopped in its tracks, right? So you can see that when influenza B had cleared the globe from that graph, it's not there anymore. And the reason is that the immune system clears this virus, it's gone. And people develop immunity. And it turns out as well, which is very significant, is the first, so this is the severe acute respiratory disease, was SARS-CoV-1, was in 2003. And this is now called, the other name is SARS-CoV-2. So in 2003, that circulated the globe. And they initially started to have a bit of a scare, but the World Health Organization has said that globally, the number of deaths from the first SARS in 2003 globally was 770 deaths. 770 in the world. But what that means, and there has been 2 more circulating since 2003, and when I looked into it, between 7% and 15% of the global population already had antibodies to these viruses. So that means what Ireland, RTE, and people are calling the number of cases, that even before this COVID-19 came, if you tested people for antibodies, between 7 and 15% of the Irish population would have had antibodies. So in our case, you would have 400,000 people. So what they're reporting is the number of cases of like 400,000 trying to scare people. They're actually people who developed immunity to the last SARS virus, and they would have immunity now. And also for, we'll say, the other 90%, a lot of people might have low level of antibodies, and it's also understood that some blood groups mightn't actually have antibodies in their serum, but actually the virus doesn't get into their cells, so they haven't developed immune response. But when they see COVID again, they are some of the people that have no symptoms because they don't have the receptor for the virus.